we're live. Welcome everyone, whosoever is here. This is the penultimate session of the Road to Metamorphosis Summit, and we're joined by Octaloop's very own growth associate, and might I add, an NFT enthusiast, Nikhil Bintade. Nikhil, whatever you have for these guys, please take it away.
Okay,
And
thank you, Abhijit.
before you begin, we keep asking questions. I'm not joking when I say NFT enthusiast. He'll have a lot to answer when it comes to NFTs. So keep populating the chat with questions. Take it away, Nikhil. Floor is all yours.
Yep. Thanks, Abhijit. Let's see. We heard a lot about NFTs in last session. Let's hear some more about it, something more about it. So, these are the stats for OpenSea volume. OpenSea is a NFT marketplace on Ethereum. You can see like they did 3.4 billion in August. Then now they are on the way like 1.5 billion in 14 days. That's not bad, not at all. Like OpenSea daily volume, it can go up to like 300 million a day. Like, what are these NFTs? Uh, yep, these are the NFT. Like, this was sold for all time like highest price of 4,008. So you can multiply it by current price and see how much it was sold for. I'm pretty sure mm, not less than 20 million or something. I don't know. Like, of course, in a million. This is one of the other projects. Like, why I like this project, because the developer who is behind this is like of my age, and they did like 24 million with this project. These are the NFTs. Then, like, what is behind these NFTs? We can check it. Uh, there's we can check the smart contract. If we go to like any image of that collection, then go to details, click on contract address. It will open up the contract address, and then you can read this contract. This is the contract. So all this thing is a contract. You can go in OpenSea, search for wicked cranium, go to details of any and find the contract address. This is the contract. So we'll take this as a base for our workshop. Like, what is this? What everything in this means, and how we can mint NFTs, what these functions do. So that will be it for the session. Like, this will be explained in the session, and you can find everything on Etherscan or OpenSea. Go to OpenSea, like I said, and read the contract. So if you are new to Solidity, then Solidity documentation is your like friend. You are like everything. uh, you can start with like introduction to smart contract, like what is solidity by example, everything. For this session, we need two things: truffle, which is like a helpful tool which we will be using in this session, and Ganache. Ganache is like a local blockchain node. Like, Ganache is, you can see it here. Uh, Ganache is a personal blockchain for rapid development, rapid Ethereum distributed application development. So you can go here, trufflesuit.com/docs Ganache /overviews. Let's take a look at which smart contracts we will be using as a base layer. Like, we don't have to create all the contracts from ground up. We can use the contracts which are already created. So we are using these OpenZeppelin smart contracts. OpenZeppelin is a like standard library which everyone uses. Uh, if you are like pro developer, you are going to use OpenZeppelin. If you are a newbie, you are also going to use OpenZeppelin. So there are few contracts like for upgrades, for stability, for access control, and then the tokens. So these are the tokens in which we are going to use ERC 721. So what is ERC 721? It is a standard which defines non-fungible tokens, like uh, what functions should these smart contracts have, like then how anyone can create NFTs. There should be some standard for that. So ERC is like that standard, and ERC 721 is a standard for NFTs. So the we can take a look at the API. If you are a developer, you already know what is the API. Uh, Here there are few smart contracts like uh, ERC 721. I represent interface, then ERC 721, then metadata enumerable, ERC 721, ERC 721 enumerable. These are the things uh, which we have in this package, uh, which in this NP Open Zeppelin contracts. This package, we get all of these contracts as a base layer, which from which we can build on. Then now let's take a look at the smart contract which I have created for you. I hope this is good. Yep. So let's see. Yep. So for the smart contract, we have to first create a project. You can create it using like Truffle init. Truffle init. This is the command you have to use to create this project. Then I have already done that. I don't want to do live coding session because it never goes like as planned. So this is the first command. Then command 2. You have to install that uh, this Open Zeppelin smart contract. So you can copy this command and like paste it, and you can install it. I use Yarn, so you can use Yarn add and these things. Uh, the name of the contract. Then we need few more libraries to test the smart contract. So yarn add chai and chai as promised. So chai and chai as promised is testing library. If you have used like JavaScript, then you should know like chai, what is chai and how it works. If not, you can always go to chai's document and find like what is it, like how does it work, all those things. Now let's take a look at our NFT smart contract. This is a simple NFT smart contract. We are defining the version of Solidity we are going to use for this smart contract because this is necessary. If you remove it, like it should give you an error, like a problem. Source file does not specify compiler version, so you have to do that. Otherwise, smart contract is not going to compile. Here we are specifying we want 0.4 0.22, like more than this number and less than 0.9.0. Then we are importing these smart contracts .sol. .sol specifies a solidity file. We are importing these smart contracts from OpenZeppelin contracts lab package. These are the like paths to do this. I'll explain all of those things in a bit. Let's take a look at this smart contract. Smart contracts can be as simple as this, like contract, then contract name and empty brackets. There is no issue with that. But here we want to create like NFT smart contract. So we are using this, just a second. We are using these ERC720 enumerable and enable. If you are familiar with object-oriented programming, you know what inheritance is. So we are inheriting everything from these two contracts into simple NFT smart contract. Then we have to initialize the smart contracts using constructor. Constructor takes this argument, like it needs name and symbol. So let's see if we can check what it takes. Let me see. Yep. Yeah. Wrong arguments. Count of modifier invocation should be 0 arguments, and two were expected. So those two were like name and symbol. Then we are coming to mint function. So this is the function which actually mints the NFT. So here we are adding like require function which checks like it is a check. So if this condition doesn't satisfy the require function, then it throws an error and transaction is failed on the blockchain. What happens? Let's see. Let's ignore it. Yeah. So we are saying like we need 0.05 ETH to mint this NFT. So this is that 0.05 number, but this is in good way, like WEI way. So what is way? Way is like a smaller fraction of ETH, which ETH, which is a actual value, actual amount. So we are converting 0.05 ETH to way, which comes out to be this number. And then we are checking if message is a object. When you create a transaction to this object, this contract, message object is passed to this. Like then message dot value, we are checking if the transaction sent this amount of ETH with contract call. So if not, then we will throw an error like not sufficient amount. If call is sending right amount of ETH, then it will pass this point and go to next line. Next line is safe mint. Safe mint is a function which we are taking from ERC721 enumerable, this contract. So this function takes two arguments. First is like the address, the owner's address, and second is total supply. The second is a number, like any number which you want to represent as a like token ID. Not a number, a token ID, which will be ID of that NFT. So we are using total supply function, which returns the number of NFTs in a contract. So it also comes from this ERC721 enumerable, and we are putting this as a token ID. So we can map this message.sender to the token ID, and then we can mint the NFT. Then next function is like withdraw. Here we are using only owner. This is the important part, which comes from ownable. So ownable is like access control smart contract. So which controls like who can access the smart contract and who can't. Like not every smart contract should be this like not every function should be accessible by public, because like they can remove your funds and uh, they can do all other stuff. So you have to be more restrictive with every function. You have to give like specific this what specific permissions to everyone. And if you don't like have to give the permission, don't give that. Like don't like try to think the conditions which people need to access your smart contract, but don't go overboard with that. Here we are withdrawing the function, which is like with here we are creating a withdraw function which withdraws the balance of this contract. So here we are like using this this means like the instance of the smart contract right now. So it checks the balance of the smart contract, then stores it in this variable. And with withdraw function, we have to send some address to uh, with the function call. So we will send the balance, all the balance of the smart contract, which we have right now, like right right at that instance of the calling that smart contract to receiver address. And this can be done by this can only be done by owner. No one can access it. This is just like accessible by owner. If someone tries to access it, then the call fails and they can't do anything. Then this is the metadata. So when you see anything, let's see. No, when you see any particular NFT on OpenSea or something, there is like on the back end they are reading a JSON file. So what is JSON? So it's JavaScript object notation. You can Google it, like you can read more about it, but it's basically an object like key value pair, and we have to store that JSON object somewhere, like on IPFS, which is a decentralized storage, or somewhere else. But you have to store it. But how can you access the URL to that storage? So you have to give it to this like base URI function, which is created in ERC721 enumerable, and we can override it using override function. And when someone calls token URL, which is another function which takes token ID as a input and returns the value, like returns the URI of that token where JSON is stored. So you can change this to anything you want, uh, IPFS or like server IP or anything. And when someone calls token URI, it will return this link plus token ID. So that's important. And when you are putting link, this last slash is important because uh, token URI doesn't add this slash. It just adds token ID to this link and returns it. So if this slash is not there, then that will be an issue. So let's see. Let's save it. I have created some um, this test for this. So I'll put it up on GitHub. You can see the test, but there are few. So let's test it. Yeah, no. Full test. It will take a few seconds, I think, but let's see. Yep, it's compiling the smart contracts right now. Uh, it is compiled. Just a second, guys. Yep, you can see this. These are the past, all past tests, which, and you can check it afterwards. Like that's not the issue. They are not that complicated, but these are the important tests, and you can see all of this in this Ganache, which is connected to our project. So what's the import? Yep, we have created one. We have created this like uh, minted one NFT, and when one NFT is minted, 0.05 ETH is uh, ETH is the balance of the smart contract. So when we withdraw it from you from the smart contract, it sends to this second address. So you can see it like it is increased by 0.05. So that's that's the basic explanation of this smart contracts, how you can create the project and all the things. I can explain the. Let's see. I'll put it up on GitHub, and link will be in the this our Discord. You can check it there. But that's it for the presentation. Let's see if someone have questions about anything like development, blockchain. Like you can ask anything. I'm here to answer you. So I'll stop the screen sharing. Let's see.
Yeah, that's great, Nikhil.
Yep.
Although that was out of my purview of technical expertise, but short, it seemed great.
Yeah.
Anupam asks, what are the alternatives to Solidity?
Yeah, there is a Viper. Like it is similar to Python, if someone knows Python as a language, but it's an alternative. I don't know any other for Ethereum especially, but these are the two things like Solidity and Viper. Do you
Okay.
think yep, nah, it's not going down. Never. Like because even if they try to uh, like reduce the fees, but like reduce the
It's not
fees,
going down.
demand will be always high, and someone will be there to pay higher gas than you or me or anyone else. Like if there is an incentive to increase the gas fee, people will increase the gas fee. So there is no
Questions
after
keep coming. Do
E.2.
you think Near would, after E.2, 2.0?
Nah, do you
Okay.
think Near will topple Ethereum?
Topple Ethereum. Will it?
No, I don't think so. It will be with Ethereum. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we don't have any more questions, what we can do is you can tell them about the fellowship that we're offering in our hackathon,
Yep.
the
Yep.
particular track as well.
I'll screen share again.
Yes, please go ahead.
And yeah, let's talk about our track, like Octaloops track. So this is the hackathon page. Like if some developer is here and he or she didn't register, you can
I'll
register
put
here.
in the link. Yeah.
Yep, sure. You can go to like Tracks Sentinel, which is our sponsor, one of our biggest sponsor. Then 1inch, which is also a sponsor. Gamify, which is sponsored by Femex, and the payments track. And this is our Octaloops track. we are giving away like prizes plus guaranteed fellowship. So what is this track? And plus employment, like full-time employment. If you are like just passing out of like college, if you are like developer or you know these things, you can apply for this track, create some basic product. I just want to like clear like what is this track. So this track is for like creating a payment gateway for normal people who don't want to deal with crypto but want to transact in crypto. So they want experience to be as smooth as using your UPI or credit card. So there is an API called Circle API. You can Google it. So what it does, it takes money from credit card and does the transaction on crypto. So this is called an fiat on ramp for crypto. So it is like simple way to say they give you crypto when you give them money. So there are many crypto on ramps. You can find it. Uh, we are not restricting you to use crypto on ramps. Circle API as a fiat on ramp, but you can find it if some on ramp is there which is better than Circle. Please let us know. That will be very helpful for us. Uh, what are the idea for these payment tracks? Uh, there are a few, like you can create a point of sale application which uses Circle API and like gives salesman or shop owner the like help they need to deal with crypto without spending like 30-40 minutes trying to like wait, trying to find the confirmation of their transaction on Ethereum or something. So you can create a using point of sale application using Circle API. And there is also another, like you can take users credit card and use Circle API to send USDC to selected chains. So what is selected chains? There are few chains supported by Circle API, like Polkadot, uh, Ethereum, I think Polygon, but there are many things, many chains supported. So basic idea is take credit card from user and send USDC to particular amount on particular chain. So that's the second idea. You can come up with your own, that won't be an issue, but like these are the basic ideas.
Okay. I think Karpam's also saying if you could explain the GameFi track as well. There was some confusion around it.
Sure. So GameFi is like NFT plus economics plus game. So all the things like which can create a game more like not for childs, like uh, when you play a game people think like you are just like a child who is playing game, but think about like if you are playing a game and you can earn from it, you can sell your assets on market and get money for that. If you are in India, like you know PUBG is big. Mortal Mortal, which is one of the biggest player, he can play PUBG and earn money. Like he will be like millionaire by now if that happens. And then he can sell like his AK-47 or like sniper with of PUBG on OpenSea. That will be like very innovative idea. So uh, so you can create an MVP like minimum viable product, like basic product of a game which uses NFTs. Like it can be as simple as like Pac-Man with NFTs. Like the Pac-Man who eats the all the points in Pac-Man game, that can be NFT, and you can sell it on OpenSea. So that was the idea. But here are some projects which are doing like very good. Play to one, Axie Infinity. They did like $1 billion in one month. So they are also big. God Unchained. This is also like God Unchained and Battle Racer. These are also uh, good good tracks, good games, NFT games, and that's it. Like GameFi is basically combination of game, NFTs, and DeFi. Uh,
Got it.
Not DeFi in general, economics.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right. I think that's all the questions we had for the session. Thank you, Nikhil, for doing this and taking an interactive session on NFTs. Next up, in about 15 minutes, we have our last session of the Road to Metamorphosis Summit. We're just having normal fireside chat with Matty Greenspan. He's the CEO of Quantum Economics, and that's the last session of the day, people. So join in, tune in 15 minutes. Invite your friends, your fellow developers to tune into this casual chat that we're having with Matty Greenspan. We have a few questions for him ourselves, and you can ask him as well when you're here. We'll see you in 15 minutes. Thank you so much for attending.